Today I want to talk about quiet luxury shoes. I recently did a video all about quiet luxury and I dissected what it is and how you can get it in your own wardrobe. And one of the things that I really love about it is it's essentially just a rebranding of classic pieces. And as you know, that's something I really love. And as long as you keep this timelessness in mind, you have a really strong chance of building a closet that doesn't date and finding pieces that you can wear for a long time, ultimately building a closet full of thoughtfulness. And that's something I really love. So in today's video, I want to dive deeper into shoes and I want to go over some of the style points you can keep in mind. These are the things that are going to really help push that timelessness forward and give you something that won't be trendy and you can wear for a long time. And then I'm going to dive into some different styles that I recommend, and I'm going to link a bunch of options at different price points in the description box. So let's get started. So the first style point that I want to go over is the material, and definitely here I'm working off of leather because that's what I personally buy for my own wardrobe. But you can definitely keep these finishes in mind when you're looking at faux leather as well, or vegan leather. And as long as you can get the finish right, it's going to look really great. So the first one is going to be smooth leather, something that isn't too shiny and not too flat. When it's too shiny, it tends to dip into a little bit more of the dramatic territory rather than that classic territory. And then when it's a little too matte, it can look a little bit worn and a little bit lived in. And that can make it feel a little too earthy for this sweet spot we're looking for. And then another one that I really love is pebbled leather. This is going to be really beautiful for bags, but also for shoes. And it's a really great way to kind of add some visual interest to a faux leather and allow it to look a lot more expensive and a lot more real or authentic. Another material that I really love for this, and something that's definitely speaking to that kind of modern influence, is a woven material. So leather or faux leather and something in a woven design is so beautiful for this. And then also snakeskin, a snakeskin print, especially if it's a little bit more understated and the colors are very cohesive and there's not too much contrast. And then also suede. And suede is so gorgeous for this aesthetic because suede is great for all year long, but especially when you're moving into the fall and the winter, there's something about suede that feels very luxe, but also very warm and cozy. It's just a really sophisticated choice. And especially when you go for that in some of those softer taupey colors, it's going to be a hit every single time. So now when we talk about the colors that I recommend for the shoes in this category, I think that sticking right in the middle in those very classic neutrals is going to be a really safe place to live. So definitely consider brown. It's a really great color you can wear all year long. And as long as you find something that's kind of right in the middle, it's not going to feel too fall, too winter, too spring, too summer, and it's going to live perfect for this. And then also I recommend looking at black, but again, don't go anything too patent. As soon as you go patent, and especially patent black, it has a slightly different energy. So you're going to want to keep it in the matte family. And then also burgundy is so beautiful for this, especially if you find a burgundy that's again in that really soft kind of finish. It's going to age really beautifully and look great with all of the colors that are perfect for this aesthetic. And then I also recommend going for things like tan, taupe, and white or off-white. Those are all going to be perfect for this. They're going to mix and match really seamlessly, and they're something that you can wear throughout most of the year and then dress up and down. So once you look at the material and then the color, you can move on to the overall shape and the style points. And the toe is something that I recommend considering first, because if you're looking for something really classic, going for something like an almond toe is going to be perfect. That oval shape is very timeless and it doesn't date at all. It's also a really easy style to kind of work with other tops and pants, and it doesn't speak too aggressively into any one aesthetic, so it's perfect for that kind of sweet spot that we're looking for. And then you can also go for something like a pointed toe and anything that's not too pointed. So kind of again right in the middle, and it's going to give a lot of sharpness to an otherwise softer color palette and softer silhouettes, softer materials, and still create something really classic. And then if you want to have some flexibility within any of the other toe shapes that are available, so something like a square shape, a really rounded shape, even like the tabby boot style, you can do so and have a lot of flexibility with injecting your personal style. And then of course that modern feeling. Just be aware that anything beyond the two that we just talked about is going to feel a little bit more trendy, and then choose whatever's going to be best for you. And then when it comes to the overall hardware on the shoe, I recommend keeping it really understated. It's definitely easy to get hardware that ages poorly, so if you just skip it, you have better luck typically. But going for something like a horse bit is always a good choice. And then also things like a little penny detail, like a penny cutout that you see in a loafer, that's going to be beautiful as well. So now now let's go over the actual shoe styles that you can keep in mind if you're trying to achieve this quiet luxury look and ultimately find something really classic. And I'm gonna start with loafers first because I love loafers. Loafers are really comfortable, they're very easy to wear, and especially if you choose them with minimal details and in those colors and materials that we talked about. And then you also go for something with a small heel, so there's a slight delineation between the heel and the footbed. That's gonna create a really beautiful shoe and something that you can have a lot of flexibility with. And going for a loafer with a slightly pointed almond toe is my favorite because I can wear that with skirts, dresses, pants, jeans, everything that I have in my closet, and it doesn't feel too casual or too dressy and is not too chunky. So I recommend with loafers also that you try them on in person because sometimes when with other shoes you have a little bit of flexibility and you can make them work with different styles of clothes, but a loafer really comes down to how you feel in it and how it's working with your overall vibe. So definitely try them on in person and then choose something that you're naturally loving. The next style that I want to talk about is ballet flats, and I really love ballet flats because I feel really comfortable in flat shoes, but also beyond that they kind of fit my overall aesthetic and the vibe that I like with my outfits. But if you don't like ballet flats, you can go for something like a day pump, and it has very similar energy, one just has a slightly taller heel. So again, keeping that heel delineation in mind, keeping that almond toe in mind, and you're going to create a silhouette that's really versatile and something you can wear with a lot of different things. And much like the loafers, I recommend trying on ballet flats in person because depending on your overall aesthetic and what you're looking for, some ballet flats can feel a little too girly, a little too juvenile, and you're looking for something that's sophisticated. And finding the perfect style for you is going to go a really long way in how often you wear this and how much you actually like it. So now if we move up the dressy scale a little bit and you want something that feels a little bit more formal and something you can wear at night, I would go for something like a classic pump. And there are a lot of variations here, and going for a lighter color is going to make it feel more daytime, going for a darker color will make it feel more nighttime, and then ultimately how tall the heel is going to come down to your preference. So I really like a kitten heel. I find it to be the most comfortable to walk in, but you may like something taller, and definitely the taller you go in the heel, the more dramatic it starts to feel and the more of a statement shoe that you get. So find something that's going to suit the energy you're looking for. And if you want something really classic, again, something that you can wear in a lot of different ways and with a lot of different outfits and for a very long time, going for something that's actually comfortable is going to be essential. So try them on, walk around a little bit, and make sure nothing's pinching or pulling or tugging. And then also, especially with something like a pointed toe pump, I recommend shopping for these towards the end of the day. It's a tip that I learned a really long time ago, and it works so well. Your feet will swell throughout the day, and if you shop for these during the later part of your day, you're less likely to find something that will feel really uncomfortable as you wear them for a few hours. The next category that I want to talk about is boots, and there are two types that I want to go over. The first is a taller boot, and this is going to be something that hits right at your knee, and I find that to be a really versatile, really classic stopping point for your boot. It's not too tall and it's not too short. And then also you have a couple options with your heels here. So you can go for something a little bit taller. That's going to make it feel a little bit dressier. I really love that for skirts and dresses. And then you can go for something flat like a traditional riding boot. Both are really classic and really functional for your wardrobe. And then also my recommendation is to find something that skims your leg perfectly. That way when you walk and you're actually moving, it doesn't feel restrictive, but it still creates a really beautiful silhouette. I find that to be really helpful in lending to how often I reach for them because I love that silhouette paired with skirts, pants, and dresses. So it gives it a lot more flexibility, and I recommend doing that for you as well. And then the other style of boot that I want to talk about is ankle boots. And ankle boots are my personal favorite because I can wear them with everything, and I really like how easy they are to slip on and off. And there are, again, two styles that I recommend considering. The first is going to be a classic Chelsea style, and with a Chelsea boot, you can either go for a flat style. That's what I like because you can wear it a lot and throughout the entire day, and it doesn't hurt or pinch. It's very comfortable. And then you can also go for something like a Chelsea, but with a little bit of a stacked heel, and that's going to be really great for kind of injecting a little bit more formality, and that's a really beautiful silhouette if you want to take your outfits from day to night. And then also a lace-up boot is so beautiful for this aesthetic. There's something very equestrian feeling about it, and that type of energy is perfect for this quiet luxury vibe, and it's also really classic. And then also what I really love about a lace-up ankle boot specifically is that it's a little bit softer and a little bit more delicate than a Chelsea boot. Chelsea boots traditionally were made for men, and so a lace-up style is a little bit more feminine and Victorian, and that's kind of something that speaks softly to that overall energy and something you can inject. So if you try a Chelsea and it feels a little too chunky, go for something in a really sleek silhouette, maybe a beautiful burgundy, and in a lace-up style. It's going to be really versatile. The next style that I want to talk about is a simple sneaker, and this is definitely something that's great for your closet because it's very functional, and there are those days where you just need to wear sneakers. And in order to have a piece in your wardrobe that you can dress up a little bit, I think going for something that doesn't feel a little too casual or like a tennis sneaker, like a gym shoe, is going to be really essential here. So my recommendation is to keep the profile relatively low. Anything a little too high top is going to feel a little bit more casual, a little bit more funky or fun, but keeping it a little bit lower is going to really create a beautiful silhouette and ultimately speak to that classic feeling. Also, when it comes to sneakers, I recommend going for something like navy, especially if that's in suede or a little bit of a leather detail, and then also things like tan and a beautiful taupe color. These are really very rarely found in traditional gym shoes, so by itself it speaks to that kind of dressier choice, and they're really beautiful and again really classic. And then the last style of shoe that I want to talk about that's perfect for this quiet luxury aesthetic or a classic closet is going to be sandals. And there are two styles that I want to go over. The first is the flat sandal. This is going to be really great because you can definitely wear this at night, but it's also really perfect for daytime. Just make sure you're looking for that slight heel delineation to make it feel a little bit more finished and polished. And then also keep your hardware to a minimum, your laces to a minimum, and your buckles really understated. And you're going to end up with something that's really beautiful. It's not too casual, but still really down to earth. And then if you want to go for something a little bit dressier, keeping again those style points in mind, but going for a little bit of a heel is a great way to do that. So the taller the heel, the dressier the shoe, and that applies to sandals as well. And then also if it's chunky, it's going to feel a little bit more casual. So something that I really like is a chunkier stacked heel that's about 1.5 inches. That is perfect for daytime and then also nighttime. And I find it to be really versatile and really flexible. But definitely keep all of these points in mind as you're shopping, because I'm going to link options down below that are at different price points. But if you're shopping in person and you kind of keep these at the back of your mind as you're looking at things and not just going for something that you think is cute, but also dissecting if it's well made, if the color's versatile and the details have longevity, you have a greater chance of finding something that you'll love for a really long time. And like always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Have a great day.